Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the biggest reinvention of the Super Mario Bros. Series since the jump from NES to Super NES. While we've had no shortage of updated 2D Mario games since the original Nintendo DS, Super Mario Bros. Wonder feels like it's in a league of its own, with some of the most personality-driven visuals in a Mario game. It truly does feel like Nintendo is capitalizing on the popularity of the Super Mario Bros. Movie and going all in on breathing new life into the series, making it as welcoming to newcomers as possible and remarkably refreshing for longtime fans. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is truly nothing short of wonderful. Super Mario Bros. Wonder introduces us to the Flower Kingdom, Prince Florian's neighboring kingdom to the Mushroom Kingdom. It's a beautiful, vibrant world home to the Wonder Flower, a special flower that completely warps the world around you into a new reality. The cultural exchange between the Mushroom and Flower Kingdom doesn't last long as Bowser quickly interrupts and steals the Wonder Flower, using it to take over the Flower Kingdom. The reality warping flower is the perfect setup for the developers to let loose on their creativity, creating some of the most magnificent and magical levels a 2D Mario game has ever featured. In many ways, Super Mario Bros. Wonder captures the initial excitement of Mario scaling the rooftops of New Donk City in 3D, only now in 2D in an equally different world. Upon starting the first level, you're immediately introduced to what will become the new standard for 2D Mario games. You can select from up to 12 characters, including a handful of characters that can't get hurt, but also can't use power-ups, making levels easier and approachable for players. Mario springs out and suddenly you realize, whoa, this all looks really different. Mario has a bit more character to him, he's running and has a little sprint to it, and his mouth smirks across his face. Oh, and when he goes through the pipe, he has to catch his hat. Oh wow, all the enemies are just walking back and forth now. The flowers can talk? The game is truly something else, and that feeling just never goes away throughout the 20 hours it took me to finish Super Mario Bros. Wonder. While the staple Mario platforming is still here, like running, jumping, and power-ups, there are also a lot of new features and mechanics. Enemies, for example, are a mix of familiar enemies, both some you frequently see and some you haven't really seen in a few years. New enemies also introduce completely new obstacles and hazards that make you approach levels in whole new ways. The Condor, for example, shoots in the direction it faces as soon as you walk past it, making you quickly dodge or use it as a platform. The Hoppy Cat is another favorite of mine. It's a spiked enemy that jumps whenever you do. At first, it was a fun hazard that I had to keep track of until the Wonder Flower made it into a giant and part of the entire level. And these moments are consistent in every level, an astonishing new revelation, and it makes me smile and laugh the whole way through. It almost feels like the developers must have had a lot more fun making this game than prior games, because there's so much creativity behind it. As you make your way through the Flower Kingdom map, you'll come across various types of levels, from traditional ones to challenges. Challenges are usually designed around a badge ability. This is one of the new mechanics in Wonder. Like an RPG system, you can equip a badge that modifies the gameplay or gives Mario a new move. The first one you get lets Mario use his cap as a glider, letting him float across platforms. Another nifty one lets him wall jump vertically, completely changing his platforming wall jump. When these badges are introduced as part of a challenge level as opposed to having to buy it in an item shop, they're some of Wonder's best moments. It only adds to my sentiment that it feels like all the restrictions and limitations set forth by the new Super Mario Bros. Series were taken off for this title, and Wonder is just 100% freedom in design. On top of the badges, Mario sees a few new power-ups too. You still have your traditional Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Power Star, but you also have some new ones. The Elephant Fruit is perhaps the biggest new addition, both literally and figuratively. This fruit turns Mario into an elephant with brute size and force to destroy anything in his way. It's incredibly wacky and never explained why this is a power in the first place, but I'm all for it. The Bubble Flower is one of my least favorite new power-ups. It's basically the Fire Flower, only now with bubbles. It's a bit basic in use outside of just being able to hop on the bubbles for platforms, but when compared to the other power-ups, it just doesn't feel as innovative. Super Mario Wonder also features some social multiplayer options. Like prior Mario games, you can still play local co-op, but now you can also play online co-op. It's literally a switch you turn on while in the map view, and suddenly other players appear in real time in your game, but as ghosts to not distract you completely while playing. It works surprisingly well in my practice, but I still opted to play mostly single player. In terms of performance, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is pretty impressive. In dock mode, you can expect a 1080p 30fps and 720p 30fps in handheld mode. The lush backgrounds, charming animations, and vibrant colors look great on both my TV and OLED Switch. It's almost jarring to go back and play New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe now and see that these are on the same console, because the difference is night and day. Music, on the other hand, is fine. It's not bad, but it doesn't land a heavy punch like the new visuals. On the contrary, the more impressive introductions are the sound effects and voice work. The flowers, as we mentioned before, speak and commentate throughout gameplay. They're oddly charming and I really like them. Mario, along with most of the cast, have gotten new voices, and they sound great. I've always been for more voice work in Nintendo games, and so to see it in Zelda and now Mario makes me excited for the future in terms of first party. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is nothing short of a beautiful reinvention of the 2D Mario formula with new presentation, gameplay ideas, and way more personality than any other 2D Mario game in years. Wonder feels like a spiritual successor to Super Mario World, and it leaves that much of an impression. Sure, I wish some of the levels were more challenging, not that there aren't any challenging levels, but I would just like to see more of them. I also wish that all the badges had challenges assigned to them and not just a few of them. But outside of all that, I have very few complaints. This is the most excited I've been for 2D Mario since maybe Mario Maker and then Super Mario World before that. You have to play this one.